Hello everybody. Today we're going to be building this fantasy-esque style hanging house here. It hangs from a tree which is connected to a cliff, and it kind of creates this really unique aesthetic that I really like, and I wanted to go ahead and share with all of you today. So to give a quick tour of this house, it's nothing really too special. It's a relatively small house, but it has a good amount of detail and a really nice views all around, which really I think makes it unique and gives it a very different style of build than a lot of other things I currently see out there. So when I designed this, I basically wanted to create an upside down house, and that's why I kind of have this sloped roof down here. And I really like how everything turned out with this, so let's go ahead and get started. So you kind of want to find a cliff that kind of goes at a 90-degree angle here, and you kind of want to build a tree around it. Now I went ahead and built a tree over here just because it's kind of hard to build these things on the fly, but the best way you can kind of make these types of trees is you basically kind of find a spot, you build some roots around it that connect to the cliff here. You do that on, I'd say, like 3 different sides and have 3 different roots. And then you just kind of start building it out and so forth, and you're just kind of modifying it just a little bit ever so often just to kind of experiment and eventually develop a nice looking tree. Now, if you guys would like, I could do a much more in-depth tutorial on this, but generally I think the best way you can do it is just basically have a thicker base and kind of get thinner as you go to the top, and then once you kind of at wherever you want the top to be, you should kind of just put some branches out in different directions. I like to do 3 directions. I think it really looks good with that, but that's just my personal opinion. So to get onward with the house here, we are going to put grindstones in an alternating pattern here to simulate a chain. And make sure you go down a good amount of distance, just because you don't want your house to be kind of hitting your tree. Kind of had that problem over there, but it really didn't turn out too bad. So let's get started here. So first we're going to go out 2 on either side. Right. Going to take it 5 out this way, 5 out this way. Actually, I think it might be 4. We'll see. I think it's 4. We'll see in a second. In fact, it's only 3. My bad. So here, we're going to put our beams. And the first thing I like to do with every build, as I've said in the past, is I just really like to start with framing. I think it gives you a good idea of how to do what you're trying to do. Yeah. Okay. 2. That's good. 1, 2, 2. And just like that. Now, you can build this in survival or creative, but since you are hanging from a large surface, it'd be a really big flex if you're able to do this in survival. So anyway, we're going to go 2 here, 2 here. Okay. Put slabs here, or stairs there. We're going to fill this guy in. We're going to put our windows here. We're going to go out 1 block here. 2, 3. Well, here we're going to put our kind of our ribs of the house. Okay, go up like that, and like that. And so you're basically going to continue doing this type of frame for each of these 3. So we're going to make another rib here. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2. Hold on. I messed that up. I was looking at it, I was like, why is this off so much? But we held through and we figured it out. Okay. To get back to topic here, we're just finishing up this part right here. And there we go. So we're going to add some of those here. Actually, what we're going to start doing is we're going to start filling in our roof here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to basically cover this part with acacia slabs. I went with acacia because I think orange is a really fantasy type of looking wood. It gives a real, and there's not really a lot of good building styles built around it. So normally what a lot of people would do is they would just kind of bring this over and make it a very normal looking roof. Now since this is kind of like a more of a fantasy style build, we're going to kind of change that a little bit. You're basically going to put random slabs in random places just to kind of give your roof a little bit of variety. No, just kind of make it more atypical. And like that. So for example, your roof doesn't look nearly as monotone and as boring. It gives it a lot of character that's really important for any type of fantasy style build. Okay. In fact, I'm gonna put it. Like that. Move one out like this, and you want to make sure that they don't look too similar and they're somewhat different, because that's also going to just make it all look a lot nicer as well. And if you're really creative, you can even throw kind of a stair or something here. But I think that looks pretty good so far. So now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Going to cover this, cover this part. Okay, give it a little bit of variety. Maybe even like a stair or two here and there. Okay, let's go ahead and start filling in these walls. I'm going to leave these leave this wall blank for now because I think we're going to put our ladder down on this side right here. That'll go into the house. So next step here, I'm going to bring out our acacia stairs. Now we're going to build a perimeter around them. Now one note is that you're not going to fill in this block right here. You're actually going to leave that blank because we're going to create kind of like an Asian style pagoda like pointy thing, as you can see over there. Adds a little bit more fantasy character to the build as well. Almost forgot. We have to do these outerior pieces here. And again, you're going to kind of first fill them in normally. But once you get to this point, this looks kind of boring, so let's go ahead and kind of just add some character to it. Just putting some slabs, making it kind of look abnormal. Here, and just use your best judgment. See, that right there looks a lot more creative and a lot more different than, you know, just a typical normal block, like something like this, you know. Just fantasy type builds are all about giving your designs character and kind of making it more, I kind of want to say like human, but that's not quite the right word, but more well placed, I would say. And we'll even put a stair here and another one here. Okay. Okay. And I like to kind of start filling these areas in with birch. We're gonna make these walls a little bit nicer in a minute, but just for a temporary thing, I'm just kind of filling them solidly. Now, I think the view to this side is a little bit nicer, so I think this is where we're gonna put our windows. So we're gonna put a little window here. Here. Okay. We're going to fill in our roof first of all. Next, we're going to fill in our floor here. Now, I like to put in birch and acacia logs here because I think just a little bit of variety also really helps in fantasy style builds and whatnot. Like that, we have a nice little bit of variety. We're going to keep this wall blank here. We're going to put a little hole right here. Okay. And in fact, I lied. We're going to put our ladder right here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to fill in this wall and put a window right here. Alright, and it's starting to look good. So next, everywhere we put a stair here, which is basically every time we had a beam, we're going to put one block on top of that. So one block here, 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 here, and so forth until we're completely done. So next we're going to make our little pointy pagoda type pointy things on the sides here. So the way to do that is you're just basically going to put one slab across and then one up, and basically do the exact same thing on the other side here. And now we're going to do that for all four sides. Barely enough room. Perfect. Okay. So let's go ahead and start finishing our exterior here. So we're going to put buttons here, and here to cover up the outgoing wood. We're going to put finally some more buttons on the birch. I don't know what I was doing there. Like that. Nice little bit of detail. Makes everything come together a little bit. And we're going to ignore this wall here. There we go. And voila. Okay, I'm going to put a window here. I'm going to put buttons. And on the other build, I put a piece of grass here with a trap door and put a plant on it. I like to go with a taller plant like a lilac or peony or something and give the build a little bit more greenery to it. Okay. So I think that just about wraps up the exterior. Now we're going to go ahead and start focusing on some of the other parts of the aesthetic. So first thing we're going to grab is we're going to grab these oak fences. And what I like to do is I like to basically hang soul lanterns off of these kind of blue lanterns. I think it kind of ties in more with the fantasy. I'm not really sure if I like using the oak or not, but I wanted a little bit more distinction than like using more acacia or more birch. Boom. Okay. So now that we have that done, let's go ahead and start focusing on our interior space here. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make sure that we can get in and out of this building. So I like to add a ladder right about here. We're also going to add a ladder into our little mini basement right here. So now to do the actual interior itself, I'm going to grab a crafting table, some barrels, a furnace, a chest, and a bed. So you just kind of want to fit these things wherever they kind of fit, if that makes sense. Put a bed there, put our furnace here, and maybe like a barrel right here. Grab a painting. I kind of want like a... There we go. Just a little bit, a small painting there to make it all fit together. I'm going to add a lantern on top of the crafting table just to give it a little bit of natural light. And I think that's the best place you can put one. Okay, now in the basement here, we're going to add a lantern here and a lantern over here. I'm going to add a chest. I'm going to put another chest, put 2 barrels, and we'll fill this in. And another barrel right here. So you kind of get this kind of musty, kind of tight crawl space at the bottom of the house here that I like. Okay. So now we have our main exterior done and our interior. So the last thing I like to do is I like to add these lanterns hanging off of the tree itself. And I think it really adds to the entire character of it as well. So we're going to go 3 down on this one, add a lantern. And I like to change how far these things go down, so I'm going to put one that goes down 5 right here. And 1, 2, 4. And like that. In fact, I'm going to make this one a little bit shorter. Like that, it just adds a little bit more character to the build itself. I'm a perfectionist, I'm sorry. There we go. And just like that, you have the coolest looking house, I think, ever. And I think that this skin will honestly work as like either a survival project if you're really brave, as I've said, or as a creative project as well. So the last thing we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and add vines. So I think adding like ladders looks kind of ugly in a lot of ways to something like this. So to make it look a little bit more natural, I'm going to add some vines here. Put them right here. And something you can do is you can build some blocks downwards and build vines on them, and then just leave those blocks after. And just like that, you have a very natural ladder that you can use to get to and from your house. And so that's about going to wrap up our video here. If you enjoyed my content, please go ahead and like and subscribe. This is a relatively new channel, and I really do appreciate any new people who want to come enjoy my content and whatnot. If there's something that you really think I can improve upon in the way I do my videos or my thumbnails or the way I talk, then please just go ahead and let me know. I'm very open to criticism, and I really hope you'd go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate it. And that's about it, so I hope everyone has a great night, and thank you for tuning in.